Hi everyone, Huang Laoshi here, and I've got another quick video to talk about another grammar word that we are learning about in our book, and this is the word zhe, which we've already seen a few examples of. And very briefly, just for your information, zhe is what we call an aspect particle or an aspectual particle. And if you're wondering, well, what does that mean? Well, we've actually learned a few of them that you know pretty well. The first aspect particle is this handy dandy little word le. And we just learned the second aspectual particle, go, when you're saying to have the experience of doing something. And now zhe is the third and last of these aspectual particles in Mandarin Chinese. There are no others. So we use zhe to show that you're in the state of doing something. And the easiest example we've had is in this phrase, mang zhe, to be busy doing something. And we always use this in combination with another verb. You're busy with something, as we might say in English. And we've already seen a few examples. So to recap, here's our Lakeside Library, and we can see a lot of students in there are busy with their homework. And think for a second on how we say this. And you'd be correct if you said, 这些学生都忙着做功课. They're busy doing their homework or busy with homework. Another example, we saw this picture of a bunch of Chinese chefs in a hot and noisy kitchen getting dinner ready, and we say that they're busy cooking, 忙着做菜, or 忙着做饭, if you wish, if the word fan is easier for you. Oh, I'll let a little hook over there. And then finally, our last example that we saw last week is this family. 这些家人，他们忙着做什么呢？他们都忙着收拾房间, and we can even pinpoint individuals. 所以小弟弟呢，他忙着擦镜子. He's wiping the mirror. Or 他爸爸呢，想一想，他忙着扫地, etc. Okay, so that's a recap of what we've done. And here, 忙着 is just a state. We can't simply say 我们忙着. If we want to say that we're busy, and say it with an adjective, we say that differently, and we're used to this already. Think of how you would say it. You would say 我们很忙. We're just busy in general. But you can't be busy with an action unless you say what you're doing. So in this case, it's a state with the zhe. Okay, let's look at another example. And these are the two that would probably be good just to memorize because they're very useful. And these are the words to stand, 站, and to sit, 坐. And usually we say one of these or the other with them while you're talking about doing something at the same time. So take a look at this picture. So here, this is obviously at Lakeside Assembly, and here's our esteemed head of school, Bernie No, and he is standing talking to the students. So we would say, for example, 他站着跟学生说话. Or you can even just simply say 他站着说话. He's standing while speaking. He's speaking and standing. Okay, but then look at the back. We can see a slightly fuzzy image of students. And always in our crowded assembly hall, there's always some students standing in the back. So what are they doing? They're standing and listening. So the students in back are there. Think of how you would say this. 后面的学生他们在做什么呢？后面的学生站着听 Bernie 讲话, Mr. No 讲话. And the same is true for the majority of students. You see, the majority of students are here, and they've all got seats, or they're seated somewhere in the front. They're all sitting and listening. So, 前面的学生都坐着听 Bernie 讲话. Okay, we have one last example that works a little differently, and this is to compare the use of a verb that would mean two different things. Now, we've already learned the word 穿 in the sense of 穿衣服, to wear clothes or to put on clothes. But depending on how we use it, it may mean something different. So take a look at this picture. Here we have a bunch of doctors, and they're putting on their white coats. And in Chinese, we call this 白大褂. Okay, they're white big coats, 白大褂. So if we wanted to say they are putting it on, we don't use 着, because this isn't a state, this is an actual action of putting on clothing. 医生在穿白大褂. And the key word here is we're using the word zai to show that they're right now doing it, and chuan is to be putting on. So in this case, zai chuan means to be putting on some article of clothing. In this case, their white coat, putting on clothing. Okay, let's take a look at another example. And given that healthcare in the US is an important political topic, here we have Obama, but he's not putting anything on. He's already got his baidagua on. He's wearing it. So in this case, we're going to say Obama 穿着一件白大褂. And in this case, 穿着 shows the state of he's wearing it. Obama is wearing a white coat to sell his healthcare plan. So notice the difference between these two. 在穿 to put on, 穿着 to be actually wearing something. And that's your lesson for today. Thanks for listening.